All right, today we're going to do some word problems. We need to write equations given information in a word problem. The key is figuring out what you are given, okay? Sometimes you'll be given the slope and the y-intercept. Sometimes you'll be given the slope and a point, and sometimes you will be given 2 points, okay? So you need to figure out what it is you're given, and then you know how to write an equation from there. That's what we've been doing. Okay, so example number 1. Mr. Kimball receives a $3,000 annual salary increase on the anniversary of his hiring if he receives a satisfactory performance review. His starting salary was $41,250. So right there, that's our starting salary. That is our y-intercept. Okay, anytime you see starting salary or initial value, okay, those are, from day one, that's what he had. That is his y-intercept, okay? So our y-intercept equals our $41,250. My pen will catch up in a moment. All right, now he receives a $3,000 annual salary increase. So that is going to be, if we're talking about X years at the company, this is going to be our change in each year, so that's going to be our slope. Okay, our slope equals 3,000. So when we write our equation, let's talk about his salary. So maybe we say S equals his salary, and we're already given X number of years. So S equals 3,000 times the number of years plus his initial salary. Okay, so there's our equation. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's go on to example number 2. To sign up for a music class, a registration fee of $25 is required. After that, you pay $85 for 6 classes. Write an equation to represent the total cost C for n classes. So total cost C for n classes. So you know that is going to be C equals something times n plus your starting value. Okay, it gives us the variables here. Now, a registration fee of $25 is required. Where do you think that goes? Okay, is that going to be times n, or is that going to be our initial value, our y-intercept? Yeah, that's going to be our y-intercept, okay? So this is our 25, because that we have to pay separately. And then, this right here, we pay $85 for 6 classes. So, if you think about it, that is your ordered pair. So you have a y-intercept of 25, and then you have an ordered pair that's given to you. This is n, and this is c. So you can plug those in and solve for the slope. All right, so c is 85 equals m times n, which is 6, plus 25. We're going to minus the 25. So that's 60 equals 6m. Divide by 6. M is equal to 10. So that means it must be $10 per class. So our slope is 10. So our equation, C equals 10 times the number of classes plus your 25. Okay, and that's it for that one. So this one, we were given a point and actually the y-intercept here. Typically the ones we've done, we're given a slope and a point, but this was the slope and the y-intercept. And you could solve, we're given the point and the y-intercept, we can solve for the slope. Okay, but right there is your equation. All right, the next problem, number 3. The cost for 8 gymnastics lessons is $94. The cost for 12 lessons is $138. Write a linear equation to find C, the total cost, for L lessons. So, pretty much here, you're given 2 points. Okay, so now we have 2 points given to us. We have 8 lessons for $94, and we have 12 lessons for $138. what do we do? How do we write an equation when we're given 2 points? Well, step 1, we find the slope. Okay, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And we're looking at that as 894 is x1, y1, and 12, 138 is x2, y2. Okay, so slope equals, and this was 138 minus 94. All right, and then we just figure that out. We have 44 over 4 equals 11, and 11 is our slope. Okay, so now that we have slope of 11, pick one of your points, doesn't matter which one. If you use x and y there, we're going to plug in to y equals mx plus b. Okay, that means we have 94 equals 11 times 8 plus b. 11 times 8 is 88. Eleven times 8 is 88. So it's 88 plus b equals 94 minus the 88, that gives us 6 equals b. So our equation, our cost equals 11 times the number of lessons plus 6. Okay, 6 was our y-intercept, our slope was 11. Okay, so there we go. I just gave you 3 examples. One where we were given basically the y-intercept and the slope. One where we were given the point and the y-intercept. You had to find the slope and then write the equation. And one where you're given 2 points. You had to find the slope and then find the y-intercept and then write the equation. Okay, so 3 examples here. The next slide is your tries. You're given 2 problems to do. Okay, figure out what's given to you and what you have to do to write the equation. Go ahead, pause it, try those, and we'll go over those in class the next time we meet. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about, though, is x and y intercepts and their meanings in word problems. So the graph to the right shows the distance remaining to complete a tunnel. Write an equation that represents the distance y in feet remaining after x months. So this is our distance remaining, that's y. This is our x. Okay, so what can we find from the graph? How do we write an equation? Well, if we look at y equals mx plus b, b is our y-intercept, so that's 3,500. And m is our slope. So from here down to here, that's 3,500 to 1,500, that's 2,000. So for our slope, we have minus 2,000 over 4 months. So that is negative 500 is our slope. So our equation, y equals negative 500 times x plus 3,500. Find the x-intercept and interpret its meaning in the context of the problem. Okay, x-intercept, x is down here, so our x-intercept is 7. Our x-intercept equals 7. Now, units are 7 months. So when it says interpret its meaning in the context of the problem, well, this right here is tunnel digging. The graph shows the distance remaining to complete a tunnel. So if our distance remaining is 0 and our x value is 7 months, what does that mean? It means it took 7 months to complete the tunnel. Okay, at 7 months, your distance remaining is 0. Part C, find the y-intercept and interpret its meaning in the context of the problem. Our y-intercept is 35. So that is 3,500 feet. And what does that mean? Well, at time 0, we had 3,500 feet to go. So that means we have to dig a 3,500 foot tunnel. Okay, that's what you have left. So your starting point is 3,500 feet. And that's it. Okay, let's look at another one. The amount Y in gallons of gasoline remaining in a gas tank after driving X hours is given by Y equals negative 2X plus 12. Graph the equation. So, let's look at a graph. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is our X. This is our Y. So the amount Y in gallons. So this on the Y is amount of gas in gallons after driving X hours. So X hours. So let's go up here by ones. Okay, so when we graph this equation, I'm going to go to black here. 12 is our y-intercept. So that's this point right here. And our slope is negative 2 over 1. So that's rise over run means I go down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. I'm just going to put more points on here because the more points I have, the more straight my line will be, maybe. Okay, so there's my line. Now, interpret the x and the y-intercepts. So, our x-intercept, our y-intercept. Our y-intercept is 12. That's where we started. Now, 12 gallons. So 12 gallons is what you start with, is the amount of gallons in tank to begin with. Our y-intercept is 6. So that tells us, our x-intercept is 6. So 6, and that's dealing with hours. So 6 hours. And what happens after 6 hours? How much gas do I have? 0. So 6 hours for gas to be completely gone. And that's it. Alright, so part C, after how many hours are there 5 gallons left? Well, if you look here, 5 gallons. How many hours is that? That's kind of in between. I think that's about 3.5. But how we can figure that out is we know gallons goes in for Y. So if we have, this is part C, I'm going to do it over here. Our Y, we want that to be X, or our Y, we want that to be 5, equals negative 2X plus 12. Let's solve that. Minus 12. Negative 7 equals negative 2x, and divide by negative 2, yeah, that's 3.5. Okay, 3.5 hours equals x. Okay, that's that one. This second example at the bottom, the average lifespan of American women has been tracked, and the model for the data is y equals 0.2t plus 73, where t equals 0 corresponds to 1960. Explain the meaning of the y-intercept. So, our y-intercept is right here. Okay, so if t equals 0 corresponds to 1960, in 1960, because at time 0, the average lifespan of American women was 73 years. Okay, it's right there. That's what the y-intercept means. Okay, so we have some for you to try. One example here, looking at the equation, finding the x and the y-intercepts, and interpreting their meaning. Okay, that page is for you. And we have, that's it. That's a warm-up for tomorrow. So there's your last problem to try. Go ahead and try that, and we'll go over it in class tomorrow.